hello there. It's me. I've been gone for a long time. In fact, it's been 17 days since Chelsea last played, if you can believe that, and even more so. It's been 28 days since our last league game. It almost feels like we've had another summer break. It's an extremely busy month of football coming up in October, with Chelsea playing, hopefully, in an uninterrupted 9 matches, both League and Champions League combined. Well, combined being the total number of games. Followed by another 4 in November as the World Cup draws ever closer. And another international break comes closer and closer. But this time, the next international break is going to be the World Cup. Thank God for that. But first, we travel to the south of the capital for yet another London derby. Of course, the Fulham match was postponed. That would have been a total of 4 with this Palace game now. But sadly, the Fulham game to be played on another day. Again, this time to play against Crystal Palace, a team that, to my feelings, my memory, albeit a little hazy at times, I really feel like we've struggled against them in years gone by. Not recently, of course, but in years gone by. But when you look at the recent history between the two clubs, it's a bit of a landslide. We've won 10 of the last 10 matches in a row. The last time we lost to them, ironically, was at Selhurst Park. But not only that, I was there. Bakayoko, the scorer, as Pilaqueta with an own goal. And I can't remember who else scored. But a 2-1 defeat that actually ended Palace's horrid opening record of 7 straight losses, including one of the fastest sackings in Premier League history, if you can remember, Frank de Boer. It was Roy Hodgson's first Premier League victory in charge of our opponents. Tomorrow, of course, since then has left the club. That said, it's now a fairly different side. And I was saying to what it was then, better or worse, you could argue either, as they finished 11th that season, even after a terrible start. And of course, finished 12th last season. In terms of Palace's form this season, Vieira's men sit in 16th place, just 2 points off of 18th, but also only 4 points off of Chelsea. And given that it's still very early days into the season, the table will soon take form, especially with the amount of games to come this month. So Palace will be looking to gain as many points from home as they can, with games coming up against Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton and Southampton in October following their game against us tomorrow. A win to kick things off for them would certainly set them in the right direction, especially having already played against the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City. It's been a horrible start to the season for the Eagles. At home, the Eagles have won 3 of their last 5 in the Premier League, including a win against Man United on the last game of the season. A goal from, of course, the man himself, Wilfried Zaha. Zaha, of course, their star player for many, many years now. It's kind of declining, but then once you start to doubt him, he just seems to gain a bit more momentum. I'm not sure myself. But again, Zaha, of course, their star for many, many years now, is their top scorer this season with 4 goals in the opening 6 matches. He has scored, however, just 1 goal in the last 10 against Chelsea in all competitions. In fact, speaking of all competitions, Palace as a whole have only managed 4 goals in the last 10 against Chelsea, and conceding 23 in that time. We move on to the main thing, for us anyway. For Chelsea, coming into Graham Potter's first Premier League match in charge of Chelsea, the Blues are without Edouard Mendy, who returned to training following a knee injury, but will not be ready in time for tomorrow's match. And N'Golo Kanté, much the same, is still nursing a hamstring injury, but he too has been seen back in training recently. Top assist provider this season, Mark Cucurella, is out with illness, as to is Carney Chukwuemeka, who recently bagged a brace in a behind closed doors match against Brighton during the recent break. Other players, Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, both made impacts in the Nations League match against one another as England hosted Germany this past Monday. The silky German bagged a brace, whilst Mason Mount came on to equalise his first numbers for club or country this season. Still though, Hopefully, this game can kickstart their momentum coming into this busy period. Of course, Kai Havertz with the goal against West Ham, but since then, neither of them really have done much this season, and it's ironic that the first real impact that they've made is not for Chelsea. Finally, away from home last season, Chelsea were actually better than we were at home. However, this season it's looking quite the opposite, with the Blues losing our last 3 away from home, scoring just 1 in that time and conceding 6 in the league. Of course, we've won just 1 on the opening day of the season and have since lost the following 2 against Leeds and Southampton away from home. Listen, my prediction for this game, despite all of this, I am rather positive. With the break now over, Potter has had somewhat of a pre-season with the boys. He's had just under a month to get to know everyone and get his ideas across to all those involved. And again, it's all negativity coming into this. But hopefully the positives start now. Graham Potter with his magic little hat and his little wand and all that sort of stuff. He's got his fresh beard, his fresh trim, fresh suit and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully he can put those to work and maybe a little bit more enthusiasm, a little bit more excitement in the squads than the game against Salzburg. But again, people criticising after one game is just ridiculous. With that said, it would be the most Chelsea thing ever should we end our 10-game winning streak against Crystal Palace tomorrow in Graham Potter's first league game in charge. However, I have hope. Okay? That this is the new beginning. Once again, another new beginning at Chelsea, and hopefully better times are ahead of us following a rocky end to the last season and an equally rocky one to start this one. But we are in new hands and hopefully good hands at that. With that, I believe that Chelsea will get the 3 points. We will concede still, though. I still have that in my mind. I think there is still work needed in the defence. I think we've got the right puzzle pieces, but there's still... there's still a lack of chemistry between some players or just the rhythm of the games, the way it goes. We seem to still have leaks leading to ridiculous goals, which seems to be the only goals that we concede these days is just outlandishly, ridiculously, just stupid goals that only Chelsea could concede. My prediction, though, for this game is 2-1 once again. We've had 3 2-1 victories so far this season. I think they all came in a row. And I reckon this will be our 4th 2-1 victory of the campaign. I am ever hopeful that this will be the game that we will see those who have been, you know what I'm talking about, those who have been massively underperforming back up and running once again. We want to see it. We need to see it. We know what these players have in the tank. It's just whether or not they can be asked to do that. Thank you so much for watching. 2-1 my prediction, don't forget. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out the Chelsea Fan TV watch along tomorrow or today if you're watching this on the day of the Chelsea Crystal Palace match. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow and all that good stuff. And with that said, up the Chelsea. We're back, hopefully, for good now. No more breaks and peace. You poked my eye out there.